people that you can use. So I've got this one chick who's she's pretty young, like she's in her early 30s, but she's big into cryptocurrencies and NFTs and stuff like that,
Yeah.
mate. She's made millions of dollars.
Right.
Yeah, like incredible. And she's got this group, a coaching group that she mentors on, how to trade, and they pay her for her tips and shit like this, right? And
Yeah.
general education. And so she's been in my ear a little bit, and so she's gonna give me a consult, sit down, and just take me through it all, help me
Nice.
set up the exchanges and the accounts and all that kind of stuff, and start dabbling in a bit of that, mate. So I'm
That's
quite.
interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting. It is interesting. I'm looking forward
Nice.
just to see where that goes.
I'm the next millionaire.
Fuck. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. There's the big fella with his non-fro. So
He's got rid of the phone.
what is that? Is that
Yes. How you
what
going,
are
buddy?
they?
Just
Cornrows.
nah. I got braids. I got braids. So
Nice,
things can
man.
come out. Like,
Ah,
yeah, I need to wash it, but I need to wash it.
that's
How do you wa-
quite
how can you watch the video?
Coolio like.
Coolio. Oh, that's a new one. That's a new one. Haven't had that one.
How can you wash that?
All I do, this is like it out, fully out, right?
That's
But
fucking
like,
Coolio. Tell me it's
all I
not.
do, I just wet it. And
That's not fucking
then,
washing it.
hey?
That's not washing it.
No. So like, I wet it with water, and then like, I get like the shampoo, and then I just like massage my scalp pretty much.
Oh, right. Right.
And then I gotta properly. Apparently, if you don't dry them, I didn't know this. Apparently, if you don't dry them, you can get mold in them.
Oh,
How fuck is that? Yeah, I gotta make sure I dry it. Oh my god.
yes.
Fucking Coolio.
That is so true.
Oh my
Now, you know Tiger
god.
Tom?
Yeah.
Who?
You know the rapper Tiger?
No.
Yeah. Do you follow football? Leroy Sane?
No.
Ah, that's not.
No, mate. Look, like the reason why I know Coolio is because he's obviously more my era, and I used to follow fucking. You talking about NRL
Nah, soccer.
soccer? No, no. Well, I don't follow football particularly well, but I used
Yeah.
to. I used to follow. Fucking, I was balls deep in all the sport, and now I just don't really have time for it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
that's a better comparison because Mick called me Snoop Dogg. So
Yeah.
yeah. Not quite. Not quite. Coolio's the one.
yeah.
Um, right. How's your week been going, mate?
It's been good. Um, actually, well, hasn't been the best. I've been sick.
Oh, okay.
Just had like a mad stomach bug, like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like on the second day, it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, but like there was more Wednesday, and I was just proper like bedridden. I just couldn't move.
Yeah.
I just I dropped my car in the morning to the auto mechanic, and on the way there, I thought I was gonna throw up. So then
Yeah.
like
Right.
I got this massive bottle right in my car. It's like 3.7 liters,
You vomited
right?
that.
Yeah, no. I wanted to because I
Oh.
felt it coming up.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like, bro, I was trying to open it, but like because it's like metal, so and I was wearing trackies, and it's pretty hard to open because like it's really sturdy, right? Um, so I needed to like put it between my legs and try and turn it, but I was wearing trackies, so it kept on slipping.
Yeah.
And then I've full had like spit and everything in my mouth, like I'm ready to vomit.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to open it, and then it's like clips my wheel, and there was a truck next to me. I almost swerved into the truck, and I quickly brought it back. I'm like, oh shit! And then like that moment like scared me. So then like my vomit just like went down in my
Yeah.
lungs. And then I
Interesting.
just drove the way to mechanic, and then came back home, and then threw up.
Yeah. Yeah. Fascinating.
And then Nick made him throw up this morning on leg extension.
And yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. So
Um,
this week has been just vomit.
vomit. Vomit.
Mm.
Um, mate, I was talking to Jordo last week. So it was just me and Jordo talking, and we were talking about the stress response.
Mm.
And so It's interesting what you experienced when you had the fear factor of potentially crashing into a car, and it suppressed the urge to vomit. It's like that's like a good example of the so the stress response is obviously designed to get you out of a life threatening situation.
Is it low key like, yeah, fight or flight? So
Fight or
like,
flight.
because I like in that moment I don't need to vomit, so like my body just automatically just suppresses it down.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
that's crazy.
And so this is the concept, right? So if you're in a life-threatening situation, you have this acute surge of the stress response. It gets massively activated, and so you produce a lot of stress hormones. All the blood and resources that would usually be around the middle of the body get preferentially shunted out to the arms and legs, so that you've got blood flow to the extremities. You release a lot of stored glycogen, so that there's blood flowing that's got lots of sugars in it, so there's lots of energy in the blood going out to the arms and legs, so that you can either fight or you can run or climb the tree or do whatever it is you've got to do. And in that moment, all the other systems of the body that aren't necessary for the survival of that don't get the resources that they would. So it's not important to digest a meal while you're running away from something. It's not important to fight off a cold or have a strong immune system if you're being chased by a tiger. You're not going to have sex when you're being chased by something. So the reproductive system, so all the resources that would work those systems shut down. Well, not completely shut down, but they get deprioritized. And then once you escape the situation, you calm down, everything comes back online. So that's what it's designed to do, and that works well. What happens with chronic stress is that if you're stressed all the time and you've just got this chronic low level production of stress hormones bumbling away, then if you apply the same concept of the suppression of the other systems of the body, you've got this kind of low level chronic suppression of digestive function or reproductive function or hormone production or whatever it is. And so that's the kind of stuff when we're working with our clients, that if they're overly stressed, that's the issue with chronic stress, basically, if that makes sense.
Right.
And so every time we train, we're also inducing the stress response, because we need the adrenaline and everything to lift the heavy weights. But it's an acute burst. 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, it sort of comes up gradually as you get warmed up. It hits a peak as you're working your hardest, then it cools back down. So that's a good stress, but you just got to factor in the balance of training stress with all other life stresses and shit like that going on with your clients, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're doing some, not testing, but we're going back over shit today. So I'm just going to do a quick refresher on fats. You guys can see the diagram?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so trans fats, no good. Processed foods, fast food, junk food, we don't want that. I know this has got a cross next to the saturated fats. So saturated fats, the animal fats, but they're not necessarily unhealthy. Like, there are a lot of health benefits to saturated fats. It's all about having a nice balance of them in the overall diet. And what most of the decent studies done, or the recent studies done on saturated fats, have found that having high saturated fat or high animal fat intake in the context of an overall good diet and a healthy lifestyle is quite beneficial. If you're sedentary, not training, existing in a world of a surplus of calories, putting on fat mass, and generally being unhealthy, plus you're eating a ton of animal fats and coconut oil and all that kind of stuff, then yes, you'll probably find elevated cholesterol levels and elevated blood lipids, but all of that's kind of happening because you're sort of unhealthy and everything as well. So it's, that's where they sort of get their bad rap, because when they're studied in that environment, they don't look like the good things. But in the context of a nice little deficit in a fat loss phase with some good training, whatever else, having some fatty cuts of meat and stuff like that has quite a lot of health benefits. So saturated fats aren't all bad. We just need a nice little blend of them. And then we've got the unsaturated fats, which is, the fats, I guess, that we encourage our clients to have the majority of. So the olive oil, the nuts, the avocado, fatty fish, omega-3s, all that kind of stuff. That's what we're after.
Question
So-
on full cream dairy though.
Yes.
So even though you said there's benefits to it, in my opinion, tell me if I'm wrong. In my opinion, I actually say to my clients, let's stay away from that. Well, it was a perfect example. So this morning, I had a client that came in,
Mm-hmm.
and her weight jumped up like big time. It was about a kilo or two, and then she's feeling bloated. So I cut down like, what happened? And she wasn't sure. So I'm like, did you do anything different? She goes, oh yeah, I had full cream in my protein shake. I'm like, and she was severely bloated after, and I've always tried to steer away from it.
Mm.
Because that happens pretty often. As soon as they have full cream, there's bloating, digestion actually slows down, and then scale weight comes up. Obviously, because I'm assuming it'd be gut volume just from the
Well.
digestion slow down in the dairy. But what's your view on full cream dairy?
I mean, I don't encourage a lot of.
Actually,
I don't encourage a lot of dairy or have huge amounts of dairy myself.
yeah,
But if I was to, the issue is that people don't have the enzyme lactase, which breaks down lactose. So certain genetic backgrounds don't produce it as well. Once we sort of stop breastfeeding, I think we lose the production of the enzyme. So it's like that's the inflammatory thing with dairy. Why I don't encourage it that much. But
yeah, okay.
and then but the actual fat itself, if you could extract just the saturated fat from the dairy, that probably wouldn't have the same inflammatory effect as the overall dairy itself.
Yeah,
You know
gotcha.
what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
I would assume that it was the dairy that was the culprit and not the fat in the dairy, but
Okay, gotcha.
then
So-
you're also having like there's also the extra calories there and whatever else. You're gonna
Yeah.
ask a question, Josh?
Yeah. Because like, not gonna lie, all my life, like just growing up, my family's always bought full cream.
Yeah.
And like all my life I've been sculling that. Not gonna lie, just straight like full cream plain
Yeah.
milk, and
Yeah.
like I've never had a problem with it.
Yeah, no,
like
I mean,
when you said like different like genetic backgrounds, like that's why I was like smiling. Oh, okay. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I can
well-
just break that down.
Back to
Yeah.
genetic.
yeah, I mean, people who come from long histories of their culture eating dairy products and drinking raw milk and working with cows and that kind of stuff, they tend to do better with it.
Mm.
So that's what I kind of mean.
Yeah.
But and yeah, look, I fucking the old pure gold, the old gold, or the pure gold, is that the full fat milk?
Oh yeah. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
man. I mean, that's delicious. It's
Yeah.
it's only a step away from cream. It's almost like you're smelling cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just nice. But yeah, I usually just get like the normal Coles one. But like I've had that one before, and that one's nice.
Can't go wrong
Yeah.
with almond milk. I love almond milk. And
Nah,
so,
it just tastes like
I love
fancy milk.
yeah, duh.
Like, yeah, I don't like it. Like I can have it. No, honestly, I can have it. But like, if you gave me the option, I'm gonna choose full cream at the time,
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
depending
Um,
on what my goal is again as well. Like, obviously, if I'm going for a deficit, obviously I know to not have full cream. Like,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, it always comes back to the goal. It always comes back to the goal. That's a good point.
Mm.
All right, so let me do another share. Can you see the mind map?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, Josh, how many calories per gram?
Oh, good question.
So the macros. Protein,
Yeah.
carbs, fat, and alcohol.
Yeah. Let me just So I'm stuck between two numbers. Is it 2 or 4? 4. 4. And then, and then carbs is 4 as well, right?
Correct.
And then fats is 9.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Alcohol.
Oh, I'm stuck between two numbers and they're completely opposite. I'm stuck between 1 and 9.
Well, it is between 1 and
Yep.
9. Bailey.
7.
7.
Yeah.
7. Okay.
4, 4, 9, and 7. I've been forgetting that sometimes as well, but basically 4, 4, 9, 7.
4497. Yeah.
4,
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got a list. These are the questions.
Yeah.
Right. Bailey, what is the most important factor of a nutrition plan for fat loss or body recomposition?
What is the most important factor?
Yes.
Um, the most important factor is their overall calorie consumption.
Correct. Excellent.
And
Energy
obviously
balance.
the energy balance and the
The energy
breakdown of
balance.
the
Yeah.
macronutrients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct calories. Okay. Josh, um, explain to your client how you determine their calories and why you gave them the calories you did. So if one of your clients says, "Okay, yeah, so you're giving me 2,200 calories. How'd you come up with that number, and why did you give me that number?" For fat loss. For fat loss, remember.
Yeah. So, um, first selecting like her protein, depending on her weight. Setting up her protein,
Yeah.
and then I'm probably, because she's on a weight loss, so then in like a higher range.
Yeah.
Maybe like, not like too high. Would you go? Because I remember we had this conversation a while ago. Are we still? Would you still put it high or like in the middle part?
Well, there's she needs to obviously have the minimum. In a
Yeah.
deficit, if it's higher, there'll be lots of benefits out of that. Um,
Mm.
good for satiety. Good for
And more fuller and everything. Yeah.
exactly keeping it fuller. You've got the surplus of amino acids coming into the body, so for recovery and to do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's lots of benefits to have it. It's just about how much she can eat. But yeah,
So,
going a little higher is certainly not a bad idea.
yeah. So say her protein and then her carbs and fats again, and then based on what activity, if she's like sedentary or really active, um, setting like the calories around that as well.
Yeah.
It's the is it MBR? No, M. What's the thing? How you?
That was my next question.
Yeah,
Bailey,
yeah.
do you want to fill us in on BMR?
BMI,
BMI. Yeah.
that's their that's their
But wait.
Yeah.
Their base metabolic
yeah.
rate.
Yes.
Well, that's what they do when they're doing absolutely no activity.
Nothing.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's what it's
Burn,
burning.
doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basal metabolic rate.
Basal.
Basal metabolic rate.
Mm.
The, the, the rate of energy expenditure of a person at rest.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. So you would explain to them, you'd say, well, I calculated our system figures out your BMR, so we know how many calories you need. I want to put you in a deficit because fat loss is the goal. So this is why I've, with how active your lifestyle is, I think 2,200 or whatever it is a good place to start. I've set your protein a little higher because we're in a deficit and you're starting strength training. And we're just going to get this first month out of the way, or first couple of weeks out of the way, see what results we go, and then we can tinker the calories from there.
Yeah.
How do you get their BMR again? Isn't it 1.2 to 1.9? But how do you get what? Yeah.
So so the BMR, there is different formulas to calculate it. So there's the Harris-Benedict formula, and the Kac-Cardle formula. So these are basically equations that if you type in their height, their weight, their age, their sex, all this kind of stuff, you get some numbers. But you guys have got that calculation, or one of those calculations will be set into your template. Or you can just go online and do a BMR calculator, Google BMR calculator to calculate someone's approximate BMR. But the actual equations that do it, that's over my head. Yeah. So that's how you do the BMR. And then are you talking about activity?
Yes.
Yes. So then you have the activity levels. And so sedentary is 1.2. So you would times their BMR by 1.2. And highly active, I think, is 1.7 or 1.9.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So somewhere between one. You're probably going to be doing them by 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, that kind of stuff. Okay.
Cool.
Um, right. So protein. All right, let's do some protein. So Bailey, explain to your client why they need to hit their protein target.
Cool. So the first thing that I know confidently that not only does it repair muscle tissue and help growth of muscle tissue, but we want to be able to maintain, or sorry, not maintain, be able to hit our protein targets. Not only, like I said, just to mention about muscle growth, but be able to make sure our body is functioning at an optimal state.
Yes, that's very good. That's very good. Um, Josh, what are some of the things that protein does apart from muscle recovery that the body needs protein for?
Liver function,
Yes.
um, growth of hair, skin, nails, um, and then
It's pretty
yeah,
good.
like what Bailey said, yeah, just like maintaining,
Everything.
And
yeah,
support our immune system if required.
Support all systems of the body: immune system, digestive system, reproductive system, the muscular system, the nervous system. Proteins are used everywhere.
yeah.
But they were good answers. That's awesome. Great. Okay. We're looking good. We're looking good. Explain to your client how you calculated their protein target, Josh.
Um, so yeah, doing their BMR and then that spitting out the number, right? And then using the range between 1.2 to 3.
Yes.
And then depending if they're in like the lower end or high end of that, depending on like their weight and everything right now.
Correct. So that's exactly the appropriate concept. 1.2 is like a scientific minimum number. Remember, the MPH range is 1.8 to 3.
That's right.
Yeah, 1.8 to 3. Okay. Bailey, what are amino acids? Explain to your client what amino acids are.
Amino acids are broken down when we eat protein into, well, there is 11 amino acids. 11?
I think overall amino acids, I think there's probably 20 odd.
20, yeah, 20. But our essential is 11, right?
Essential, 9.
Nine. Okay. Um, yeah, so how do I explain is when they eat protein, it gets broken down into amino acids.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's how I get stuck on elaborating on that. Elaborating on that more. But
Well,
when we eat protein, it gets broken down into amino acids.
correct. So amino acids are like the building blocks of
Protein.
proteins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So we haven't covered this, but I've put it in here about supplementation. So, Bailey, what do you tell your clients if they ask if they should be having intra-workout supplementation?
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
So with intra, I more say either carb powder, creatine, BCAAs, EAAs. 100%. They'll only benefit your training.
Yeah. Josh, what are your thoughts on workout supplementation?
Um, I would recommend yes, as long as it doesn't affect your digestion. Because then if that's the problem, then obviously you can't have that. Or if you can swap to like a better option. I don't know, maybe there's like I think I've seen a vegan protein powder, right? There's like a vegan protein powder. Yeah,
Yep.
so I don't know, like switching to like some other alternative. But like for me, like BCAAs and like amino acids and all that, I feel like that's not like a necessary must. I feel like yeah, more like the protein powders, like carbs are more necessary and more like used, I guess.
Mate, okay. Interesting. I'll tell you my thoughts on it. But first, let's have a look at BCAAs. So BCAAs are branch chain amino acids. So these are essential nutrients including leucine, isoleucine, and valine. So leucine, isoleucine, and valine are the branch chain amino acids that if you look in the back of your BCAAs tub, you'll see those 3 amino acids. So they're found in meat, dairy, legumes, and this is the key part. BCAAs stimulate the building of protein in muscle and possibly reduce muscle breakdown. And the key word there is stimulate the building of protein and muscle. So have you guys ever heard about the comparisons of branch chain amino acids compared to essential amino acids for training and muscle protein synthesis?
No.
No. Okay. So we'll do the essentials, then we'll come back to the branch chain aminos. So essential amino acids cannot be made by the body. As a result, they must come from food, and there are 9 essential amino acids. So you would, if you get an essential amino acid blend, you'll have all these amino acids. So
A lot of big words.
yes, essential amino acids are superior to branch chain amino acids for intra-workout or recovery or that kind of stuff, because you have the full complement of these amino acids. The branch chain amino acids, they stimulate protein synthesis, but they don't necessarily, so they start the process of muscle protein synthesis going on, but they don't have all the other amino acids that you would have with the essentials to actually plug the gaps and provide the material to rebuild the muscle. Does that make sense?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. So we're getting into the weeds a little bit, but if you were to use intra-workout supplementation, essential amino acids would be superior to branch chain amino acids.
And would it be, and you usually drink that like before workout? Is it best to drink it before?
Well,
Or whenever?
as you said, okay, so this is my position on workout supplementation. First of all, it's not necessary. So if you get adequate protein through whole foods, you can do your whole training. You could do a full bodybuilding prep without supplementing with protein if you got adequate protein through all the food that you ate, that you consumed in your day, and the meal timing was good and you were doing all that. You wouldn't need supplementation. So it can be done without it, because at the end of the day, amino acids are amino acids. It all gets broken down and ends up doing what it does and helping recover, assuming that you have an adequate amount. So you don't need it. However, if you have someone who trains fasted in the morning, intra-workout can be great. If you if your training drive and training performance is better, knowing you've got something sweet to sip at, and there's some amino acids, then great. I think intra-workout carbohydrates are awesome. So that's actually providing a direct energy source. So you're getting some glycogen from the gut into the bloodstream straight away. So that's awesome. Once again, not necessary. If you are eating enough carbohydrates and you were loaded, glycogen stores were loaded from the night before, and you trained, at midday or whatever, you're also totally fine. And you have to factor in the energy that you're giving your clients in the workout into their overall calories and macros. And so that sugar and essentially protein that they're drinking while they're training is is carbohydrates and protein that they could be eating from whole foods if they're in a fat loss phase and they get hungry. So you got to kind of think about that. So it's very much a case by case situation with workout supplementation. Find out what their timing of their meals are like. How are they hitting if they're struggling to hit their overall protein intake just because they don't like eating meat and stuff like that, then workout supplementation and post shake or a shake as a snack or something like that's a great option. So you just got to think about the big picture. And I've been through heaps of phases where I've trained with intra and not, and I've done like 100 grams of carbs and all sorts of different things. And while I'm doing it, I always think it's the best way to do it, and then I do something else and I start doing that, and I go, oh, maybe this is a better way to do it. And now I'm not having any intra workout. I just drink water, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is pretty good. So I don't know. It's a case by case basis, but the point is that you just have to factor it into all their total energy balance, and their calories, and see how they go with it, see how they train with it. Pick your spots. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. What are some... Actually, protein's good. Let's do carbs. Right. Bailey, your client is scared of eating carbohydrates. What do you tell them?
I've had this before. So when I started explaining that, I get them to understand that carbohydrates are our first, one of our main three macronutrients, and one of our main for performance and energy.
Yes.
So I try to get them to understand that is fuel, and that is the fuel that we need to be able to get the performance that we want in the gym, to be able to get the goal. And then depending on the ranges that we have, depending what the goal is, depending how their body absorbs the carbohydrates, if they're insulin resistant or sensitive. But I just go over that it's fuel and we need it for energy. It's not necessary, we don't have to, but it's optimal.
Yes, awesome. Okay, great. Josh, your client understands everything that Bailey just said, but she's still worried that if she has carbs, she's going to get fat. What do you tell her?
Is she in a deficit?
Perfect. That's the point.
Yeah,
if she's in a deficit, then she can eat all the carbohydrates that she can. Right?
Yeah, not one. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So that's the point. Okay. Josh, what are some good sources of carbohydrates for your client to eat in a fat loss phase, and why?
Rice, because I think rice is like the best option for like digestion. And depending on the rice, like brown rice, more fiber. Sweet potato, and it's just like any, like, not like white bread, but any other like brown bread, seeded bread.
Yeah.
All those. Oh wait, what else did you want me to like link that to?
So, and why is that? So they're all great sources, yeah. But why that over white bread or?
Yeah. Because like they're whole foods, and they're more nutrient dense, so they're gonna be more beneficial for you than compared to eating essentially, I don't know, a Big Mac.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So they're going to get more nutrient value out of brown rice than they would out of white bread or even white rice. You also get the benefit of the extra fiber, which you noted, which is awesome. You also stay a little bit fuller for longer. So if you were to, even though it's all about energy balance, if you were to have the same amount of carbohydrates worth of brown rice, or that equal amount of carbohydrates in table sugar, it's still the same amount of sugar getting into the system at the end of the day, but you're going to stay a lot fuller for a lot longer having had the brown rice than the cup of sugar.
Yeah.
So that's why we choose those sources.
Yeah.
Okay. Bailey, why are carbs advantageous for strength training?
Why are they what, sorry?
Advantageous.
What is that?
Why are they an advantage for strength training?
They are an advantage for strength training. I would start explaining exactly sort of what I said before. It's our first macronutrient that our body uses for energy.
Yeah.
So if we are, like you just said, if we are feeding our body with carbohydrates, even if it's intra-workout or before, we're going to be able to use that carbohydrate efficiently and quickly for performance. Other than we don't have any carbohydrates in us, our performance it will still be there, and we can still work out, and we can still get a good result in that
Mm-hmm.
from workout, but it might not be as optimal, or they might not be able to feel as good.
Mm-hmm.
Feel a bit flat. Their energy could be a bit low. Their glycogen storage could be a bit less than they were if they were full.
Yeah.
I'd explain carbohydrates definitely if we have it before our workout and even during, it will help our performance in our gym. So that's our first
Okay.
first nutrient that our body will use for energy.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So that's all performance based. Josh, how would you explain to your client the benefit of carbohydrates from a recovery perspective?
All I know is it just helps with recovery. Like
Yeah.
I don't know much about that, to be honest.
Okay. So the down the bottom here, the protein sparing effect. So having the extra carbohydrates in the diet from a recovery perspective frees up more of the amino acids or the protein that you're consuming in your nutrition to go and do what it does and repair muscle and get all that business done, because you've got adequate energy coming in from these carbohydrates that will be broken down into glycogen. Your muscle will draw that glycogen into the muscle cells to recover and reload for the next workout. So it has advantages not only from the performance perspective, but from recovery as well.
Yeah,
Makes sense?
yeah.
So it actually like it says here, supports hypertrophy. So having those carbohydrates in the diet will actually support their muscle growth.
Yeah. So then to pretty much just go on with like whatever everything that Bailey said, pretty much
Yeah,
just
yeah.
into the performance and yeah.
Correct.
Mm.
Very good. Okay, this one will test you, Josh. Explain to your client the difference between a complex carbohydrate and a simple carbohydrate.
Ooh, maybe. Okay. Complex is wait, no, complex is good. Complex is the good one. Simple's not, or is it the other way around?
No, that's not wrong. That's not
No,
wrong.
yeah, but like, oh, okay, hold on.
Just
Simple. Simple is like your whole foods. No, complex is no. Complex is your whole food.
Yes, Bailey.
Yeah,
yeah, so your complex would come from like sweet potato, pumpkin,
yeah,
rice, stuff like that, and then your simple carbohydrates may come from your fruit, simple sugars like um, fruit, even
yeah,
peckish that I'm having right now.
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Complex carbs are found in whole, unprocessed foods, fruits, vegetables, legumes, and grains. Simple carbohydrates are those sorts of starches that have been processed and stripped of all their nutrient value, so that you're just left with the sugar.
Yeah. See, in my head, I flip it around
You were
because, like,
close. Yeah, yeah,
I make the bad ones like sugars being complex because I'm thinking of just like, I don't know, like a Big Mac and how
It being too
complicated all the,
complex.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and then like, yeah,
yeah,
You can see where your brain's going.
yeah. Okay, Bailey. In what circumstances might you use a low carbohydrate diet for a client?
When someone may be insulin resistant.
Yes. How do you assess whether someone is insulin resistant?
So yet again, maybe someone comes in, roughly get their maintenance, roughly get their average carbohydrates, and then you start recognizing that they're not using those carbohydrates efficiently. So questions like, cool, are you feeling pumped in the gym, or do you feel a bit spilt over, or this or that? And if they do, with the low dosage of carbohydrates you know that the carbs that they are eating, they're not using efficiently. So it's getting stored.
Yes. That's not wrong. Okay, so aside from doing them having had, like a fasting glucose test and actually finding out through their blood that they've got issues managing their blood sugar,
Yeah.
generally speaking, if you've got high fat mass and low muscle mass, you're going to be less insulin sensitive than someone who's leaner and has more muscle mass.
Gotcha.
And so if you've got someone who's sedentary, they don't train a lot, they've got a ton of fat mass, big fat loss client, there's a high chance that they're not using carbohydrates particularly efficiently, and they can certainly benefit from a period of time of lower carbohydrate intake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. All right, Josh, you're getting ready to go to work?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you ask me questions, probably the last one.
Let's get through fats. Okay. Explain to your client why they need to have some fat in their diet.
To help with brain function, hormones,
Yes.
regulating hormones, just, and again, like all around body function.
Yes. Every cell membrane is coated by a fat layer. We need fat for everything. Everything. Yeah. Okay, Bailey. What are the 3 different types of dietary fat?
Saturated, unsaturated. Oh shit. Cold.
So you've got monopolyunsaturated, but you're on the right path. There's the one bad fat that you just got to burgers, fries.
Yeah. You just said it. You had it up. Trans fats.
Trans fats.
Trans fats.
Okay. Josh.
Yep.
What's an example? Can you give me an example of a trans fat, a saturated fat, and an unsaturated fat?
Okay. Trans fat, chips, burgers.
Yes.
Unsaturated, oils, nuts.
Yes.
What's the other one? Saturated, animal fats, and
Perfect.
Yeah.
animal fats.
Animal fats, vegetable oils.
Right.
Okay. Bailey, your client is worried about eating too many egg yolks. What do you tell them?
Egg yolks. Is egg yolks high in fat?
It's an animal product. So it's a saturated fat.
Saturated fat. Yep.
Yep.
And what? So they're worried of
They're
having
worried about,
fat.
yeah, they're worried about eating saturated fat. Saturated fat is unhealthy. I don't want to eat egg yolks. I don't want to have fatty cuts of meat. How do you? What do you tell them?
I would explain to them that even though there is a stigma around that they're unhealthy, there is a lot of benefits to our saturated fats.
Yes.
But of course in proportion.
Yes, that's good. That's good. So in the context of an overall healthy diet, healthy lifestyle,
In proportion, they're okay and they have benefits.
exactly in a nice blend of a proportion of saturated to unsaturated.
Yeah.
Okay, last one, Josh. Oh no, I was just going to ask you to tell some sources of fat, but you just did that. All right, I reckon that's good.
Yeah, sweet. That was
All good.
yeah, that was good.
Okay, Josh, you got to
That was a
go.
good one.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm off.
All right. Okay, mate. I'll talk to you soon. Bailey, any questions? I've still got 15 minutes, so if you've got anything you want to talk about, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, later, guys.
All right,
Yeah,
man.
guys.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. No, not necessarily. I did want to ask how you found the BMR, but I'm going to do a bit of research on those formulas. I just need to wrap my head around those formulas.
Yeah. If you just do BMR calculator and look at the first couple of things that come off, there'll be a little template at the top where you can put in someone's height, weight, and whatever else. They'll spit out a number for you. But if you go further down the page, there'll be an explanation as to the actual math that's used in the formula.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'm gonna do that just to wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
But other than that, mate,
But that was
pretty
good. That was good. You across all of it.
yeah, cool.
Yeah. How do you feel like you're going with your clients and stuff?
Pretty good actually. Pretty
Yeah.
good. Pretty good. There's always room for improvement. I'm someone that's like very hard on myself, so I gotta be like, gotta do this, gotta do more.
Yeah.
But very good at the moment.
That's
Got
good.
a lot of transformations happening.
Yeah.
So it's good. And coming into this period now is just basically most of my conversations about clients is how to stay on track over the festive period.
Yes. Yes.
For
Very
me,
good.
it's just I recommend not them to actually be on a plan itself, so then they're
Yeah.
restricted.
Yeah.
I then most of my clients I like to teach them about how to track macros, so their macronutrients, their protein, carbs, fats. And through that time, I said I'd recommend not being on a plan, so you're not being restricted and still enjoying yourself, but still knowing what's coming in
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
still.
man, I totally agree. I think that's awesome. Like, it's a good opportunity for them to actually play with real life and
Yeah,
have a little trial run of figuring out how they can maintain a good diet longer term
yeah,
and
exactly.
auto regulate themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And just the importance of like, okay, cool, you know your protein target, your carbs and your fats. You have then now the flexibility of what food you would like to pick from. And
Mm,
I have the confidence that I have taught them what's a good choice and what's a bad choice of food, but
yeah,
then not making them feel guilty if they choose something bad on Christmas Day. Like it's
of
Christmas Day.
course.
One day is not going to hurt their progress as much.
Yeah, yeah,
What you do
yeah,
on the overall.
yeah. Nice, mate.
But yeah,
Nice.
doing pretty good, mate. Doing pretty
Oh,
good.
that's good. Good. Awesome. All right, man. Well,
Awesome.
well done. Good session. And I think I'm going to send all the videos to Mick. He wants to consolidate everything and figure it all out.
Yeah,
So we might be. I'm not sure if we're talking again until after the year or whatever's going on. So,
yeah,
but
cool.
keep
So
in
it was
contact,
awesome to
mate.
have you, mate. I really appreciate your
Yeah,
help.
yeah. It was good fun, man. Good fun.
Good fun. I appreciate. Like to pick your brain.
Yeah. Anytime, mate. Just let me know.
Thanks, mate.
Cool.
Awesome. Look after yourself and have a good festive period.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Thanks, mate. See ya.